I want to show you how strong some of those wind gusts were. Look at this tree. It was pushed up out of the ground. Now, directly across from this sign, right in front of City Hall, is where a truck hit a woman on a bicycle during last night's protest. I mean, this is what the snowplows have plowed so far in this parking lot. Just a few minutes ago, I got off the phone with the source interviewed during this investigation. They did tell me many ex-employees and current employees of the city are being investigated. So I'm going to continue to try to take these for a spin. Guys, back to you. Found some boat parts. This was one of the things we saw on the ground. We're even seeing some boat seats in the water there. So a lot of things have been taken with this water. But if we walk over here to these apartments on this side, there's that apartment there on the 5th floor. That's where that fire was contained to last night. People on this side of the building on the 4th and 5th floors were displaced last night. And doctors say living with CP is like living with 100-pound cinder blocks on your legs. So people are putting on 10-pound ankle weights to get a small feel for what that's like. Can you hear that sizzling? Well, I switched roles with Patrick. He's the reporter now. I'm going to try his job, and I'm trying to make some of this stir fry. But the 7-day positivity rate in Erie County is 7%, and that is why now parts of the county are getting this orange designation. I could join the circus right now. Yeah, I feel definitely. Like. Totally. They did a few searches and they haven't found anybody yet. As far as we know now, we do know they were conducting a few more searches. Usually we think of big box stores for Cyber Monday, but this year the chamber wants you to Google a local store first. It might look like it's snowing right now. That's actually just the wind blowing the snow. Police were conducting a criminal investigation into this fire and into the 2 bodies that were found inside this house. Usually you're hard-pressed to find an empty space on Black Friday, but with the border still closed, that's really impacting holiday shopping.
You know, it hurts, but we was ready to be in here in June.
Stop the Violence organizers reacting Wednesday morning to the rubble left behind after flames destroyed this house on Kilhofer Street Tuesday night. The house was meant to be a community hub for nonprofits like the Coalition.
The community.
Yes, the community.
Not just our organization, but the community.
The house was donated to Habitat for Humanity, and they were working on renovating it along with community partners. And when the house burned down, so did hours of labor and donated materials. Now they're looking at what's next.
Everybody thinks of Habitat as building houses, but our mission is to build houses, communities, and hope. So that's what we're doing here, is building a community, working with the community to build the community up. And let's not forget the hope piece. For us to just leave this here, that's not bringing hope to the community. So that we will do something.
The fire is now ruled arson. While devastating, community leaders are leaning on a message of love.
Love them. We're going to put our arms around them, and we're going to embrace them, and we're going to become stronger because of this.
While the house will no longer be ready by June, they plan to rebuild.
Whoa! Whoa! I must say the most alarming noise, not really the revving of the engine, but when the bike tire popped, when she hit the bike. Whoa! Whoa! All right. So one person was just hit.
Brandon Bonner describes the scene as a truck plowed through a crowd of protesters Wednesday night. Police say a female driver hit another woman named Karen Huffman while she was riding her bike.
What made her take it upon herself to actually just gun it through a crowd of people? What would it take for someone to do that? If it wasn't intentional, then there was a lapse in mental judgment.
He live streamed the whole protest from the beginning. He's done this at every protest so far this summer. He says people marched peacefully from the B district before making their way to Niagara Square. That's when they noticed this driver.
And I was already kind of watching, even though I had my camera on the white car, because I seen her, inching a little bit. And so when she gunned it, my natural reaction was to try to run and follow like everyone, not everyone, but a lot of other people.
Here in the video captured by our photographers, you can see and hear the driver speed off, which you can further see in Bonner's videos as he, along with protesters, chased after her, eventually stopping her on Court Street while others stayed back to help Huffman.
So we had her cornered in for a minute, so I wanted to make sure I got her license plate, what she looked like, in case she drove off again.
Police say Huffman's expected to be okay. They have not released the name of the driver. In Buffalo, Madison Elliott, Spectrum News. This debris that I'm walking through right now is left over from the Halloween storm that cost the state millions of dollars in damages. And the latest storm this weekend didn't help recovery efforts here.
When the floods occur, this whole thing becomes a swimming pool, right? Because it just all jumps the wall and comes through here.
Chris Mattioli takes us through the damage to his property from not one, but 4 different storms since October, including this weekend.
I mean, all the hardscapes, as you can see, have been destroyed. The retaining wall have been popped up.
And since October, he's racked up $250,000 worth of damage.
It's discouraging, no doubt, and flood insurance is very limiting in what it covers. It covers some things, but those of us with finished basements and any exterior damage is not covered by flood insurance, and homeowners does not cover flood either. So there's big gaps in the types of things we'll be compensated for that's damaged.
He's lived in this house since 2012, and he says he's never had to deal with damage like this before. He blames lake levels.
We've had storms here in the past, but nothing on this level. The same storm can create a massive flood, whereas 5-6 years ago, it would have been some minor splashing.
President Donald Trump issued a disaster declaration for 18 counties in New York, including Erie County, following Halloween's windstorm. This means the government would offer financial assistance to local towns like Hamburg to help with cleanup efforts. But Hamburg Town Supervisor Jim Shaw says they haven't received confirmation of that money yet. And as homeowners like Mattioli are still recovering from October, this new storm will only add to the cost.
There's terrific devastation again. Water damage along the property lines of homeowners all along South and Mid-Shore. It's not nearly as bad as it was on October the 31st, but it is a real problem.
Shaw says the town applied for a FEMA mitigation grant in hopes that someday they can build revetments or break walls out into the water to break the force of waves. But until then, there's not much neighbors can do except brace for more.
Storm season's not over yet, so there could be more.
Reporting in Hamburg, Madison Elliott, Spectrum News. With a bowl like that, you wouldn't be able to tell that Zachary Kilga hasn't been on the lanes in a year.
I think that my hand is ready for me to, get a good win for the day.
And he did it again and again. It's Zachary's first game back since the cutoff age for unified sports changed from 19 to 21.
So I had to watch them bowl, and this year I get to bowl, so I won't have to worry about the sidelines.
His mother Margaret told us back in May she's been fighting for this change since last fall when Zachary first aged out. He's one of 6 students at Clarence High School that wouldn't have been able to compete this year, and it would have been Zach's second year of sitting out. But now he doesn't have to.
It's big. It's big for me and my family, for me at least. I'm happy. Yeah, Ryan. It's good.
It's all about inclusion. It's about team spirit. It's about being a part of the athletic program at Clarence High School. It's one of the most rewarding experiences I've had as a coach in 23 years I've been at Clarence.
Next is the basketball season, and Zach will be competing. Reporting in Clarence, Madison Elliott, Spectrum News.